When I saw the chance to travel to another country and learn how the education system worked there, and also it being Ukraine, I have Polish roots. I know that the Ukrainian geopolitical climate is of great concern to many Canadians. We have a large Ukrainian-Canadian population, and I felt like it was a great opportunity, and I wanted to seize it.
What were you expecting?
I think, I've got a political science background, so I had some preconceived notions about a Soviet-era education system, but I don't think anything could have prepared me for what Ukraine was really like, actually being there.
What do you mean?
Well, first of all, the high school students had 23 subjects that they had to fulfill in 1 year. There was huge pressure placed on them, not only from the teachers, but from their family members. Students were sometimes coming home at 10, 11 p.m. at night from tutoring. They were doing homework until midnight. And this was all due to I would say, in my humble opinion, the pressures that was placed upon them by the adults who had just spent, the time in Maidan, years of fighting to get into the EU. This is a very big opportunity for Ukrainians, and I think the mixture of having the Soviet-era education system and this new added pressure of Ukrainians wanting to strike a new identity amongst the European Union, I think that the students are under a lot of pressure. And then you add in the Soviet-Ukraine conflict, and you have 18 to 27-year-olds being conscripted and drafted to enlist in the military and serve.
Was there a great fear of being conscripted?
Yes, I would have to say, though there were, always very proud Ukrainians, the young men in the school that I was teaching at expressed some genuine concern about getting into university, maybe not finding that great career right off the bat, and then having to do 2 years in the military and potentially dying for their country.
Apart from the large number of subjects that each of these students had to take, what was the difference in their educational system?
I think that Canadians have it very easy. I think we're blessed. I think that there's a huge dynamic of parental input and, the obligation of the teachers and the administration to adhere to those professional conducts. Whereas in Ukraine, I think it's a little bit more old school. I think there's a lot more rigid structure and expectations put on the teachers. Whereas in Canada, there's a lot of communication between parents and teachers. I got the impression that in Ukraine, the teachers had the end all and the say. So you would come into the classroom and all the students would be standing in front of their desks. They wouldn't have pulled a book out, they would just be standing at attention. And I'd come in and start talking, hey, how are you today, what's going on? And everyone's just standing there frozen. And it took me, it must have taken me a few days of teaching 8 classes a day until I said, or 5 classes a day, until I said to them, please be seated. Just these simple things that in Canada you don't ever see. You've literally got to pull a fire alarm to get the kids' attention sometimes, and I don't mean that literally, but there are drastic differences.